Welcome to In the Kitchen with Dinah. Today we're making chicken enchiladas.
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Gonna taste good, I know.
These chicken enchiladas are a white sauce with the green chilies, and they're one of my favorites. When I was first married, I got some lovely cookbooks as gifts, and I think this was one of the first recipes I had used out of those cookbooks, so we're gonna make it today. It's pantry staples, which I always appreciate. So the first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna get a pretty good, well, a medium-sized saucepan. We're gonna put a couple tablespoons of butter in it. We're gonna saute some onions and our spices. So we've got a couple tablespoons of butter in here. Got a half a cup of chopped onion. We're going to get that sauteing until it's tender. A couple cloves of garlic. And we got a teaspoon of coriander. We're just going to let this go for a minute till the onions soften a little. And smell how fragrant the onions and the garlic, the coriander are. So you want to do this for, I don't know, a couple minutes. It's going to cook again in the oven, so you don't have to be too picky if you're in a hurry. This is a pretty quick dinner, especially if you have like Costco rotisserie chicken left. So this is a roux-based dinner, and I do a lot of roux-based, and what that is just melting butter, a fat, and the flour together, and it helps things thicken. So to the 2 tablespoons of butter, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. We're going to just stir that around. It's going to help thicken everything. But you want to cook the flour mixture out so it cooks, because the raw flour is not a good flavor. All right, now we're going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. And I kind of add it slowly here. I'm going to crank up the heat here. It's a good time to use your whisk. Boy, I am slopping that out of the pan. I'm being so tidy today. All right, so that is, I'm going to turn that up. I had it on really low. All right, so as that is going to come up to heat, we're going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And I just kind of eyeball this. If you want to make this spicy, you sure can, and just get like a jar of jalapenos or something. All right, so I have the fire roasted diced green chilies. Just dump the whole can in. That gives it such great flavor. It's starting to thicken here as it gets hotter. All right, and now we're going to add 8 ounces of sour cream. That takes a second to melt in there as well. You can see how nice and thick it's getting. And I think the little jalapenos that I'm referring to, they come in a little jar like that, and they're just diced. We don't like it real spicy. I just like the flavor, so I don't ever put them in. I like to keep it stirring because you do have sour cream and stuff in there, and you don't want it to burn on the bottom or anything. All right, so it's coming just to a simmer, which is what we want. So I'm going to turn my heat back down. We're going to add a half a cup of cheese. The original recipe says Monterey Jack, but I never have that on hand, so I just use the Costco Mexican cheese blend. So pop in a half a cup of that, and it's going to melt right in. You can just turn off your heat, and it pretty much disappears. All right. Smells so good. See how cheesy that is? All right. So we want to take a half a cup of this mixture and add it to some chicken in a bowl. So I've got 2 cups of, this is just rotisserie chicken we picked up at Costco, chopped up pretty fine. We're going to take a half a cup of the sauce, put it in here. This is what we're going to use for our filling. I'm going to add just a little more. All right, so let's go wrap this in some tortillas. All right, so we've got our 2 cups of cooked chicken with about a half a cup of the sauce or a little more. You just want to kind of stir it in. We're going to use this for the filling. So this recipe makes 8 6-inch tortillas, and I put them in an 11-by-7 greased casserole. So this, make sure your counter's really clean to do this, but this is the best, easiest way I figured out how to do this. Totally assembly line. So I just put all of these out here on my counter. You can use corn or flour. These are corn and flour. And you're just going to divide this all in between the tortillas. And it's a pretty healthy amount. This is a great freezer meal for once a month cooking, or if you need to take it to a mom who's just had a baby, or a person, you know, who's had a death in the family or whatever. Most people like this. It's not too spicy. It always tastes good. So like I said, I just kind of divide it out. And it's kind of messy, but that's okay. Let's do this one. Does those look pretty even? I got a little tad more.
From above, they look pretty even.
It's a big chunky chicken. All right, and then I like to spread a little extra cheese on top. I just do the same. This would be really easy to make a double batch. Throw one in the freezer and then eat one for dinner as well. And I'm going to show you also how to make some Spanish rice. That'll be in the next episode. That makes such a great accompaniment to this. All right, so I'm going to throw that in there. We've got all of our chicken and the cheese in the tortillas. So now you're just going to wrap it real gentle and roll it. You're going to place it seam side down in the pan. The first couple are a little tricky. Sometimes the tortillas like to roll open. And if you're using corn, if you want to make this gluten-free, you'll have to warm those up and steam them because they break so easily. Just going to squish them in there. That one's really loaded. And it's okay if the chicken falls out. You can scoop it out onto the plate when you serve them. Woo! Right, yeah, see, that's just what happens. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to squeeze this one in too. All right, now you've got those all in there. Whatever you have left on your counter, since it was clean, I just pop it in there. Okay, so with the remaining sauce from the sauce that we made on the stove, I'm going to grab that. We're going to just pour it over the top. This always makes a generous amount. So it really kind of just does fill the whole casserole. It's so good.
The whole side near me has got like lots of space.
Over here?
Yeah, like there's like
there we go.
Edges that can just get
so I just dump the rest on. And then we're going to pop this. Let me grab my knife. I'm going to take it. You can kind of let this wiggle between tortillas here. Get them all covered. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, now we're gonna pop this in a 350-degree oven for half an hour to 40 minutes. It's all heated, it's pretty hot. You just wanna get it hot and all the way through. The last 10 minutes, I'm gonna sprinkle some more cheese on it. So let's pop this in the oven. I just peeked at the chicken enchiladas in the oven and they are bubbling fiercely. So I'm gonna add some cheese and we're gonna let it just melt and then they'll be done for dinner. So let's go make some cheese. Really gently pull it out. Okay. This is how I do it. If you're not brave enough to do it this way, pull it all the way out to a cooling rack and do it on your counter.
Yeah, just don't burn your knuckles on the upper rack.
No, don't do that either. And then the next part is you just want all this cheese to melt. And I got it all on my clean oven.
Oh no.
It's okay, I can get it off. Oh, well, all the more cheese. All right, so we're gonna push this back in, let that cheese melt, and then we'll pull it out and it'll be ready for dinner. I could get that right now.
Yeah, please do. She's a problem.
This good old Norwex will take it off, or not.
Brought to you by Norwex.
Okay. All right, so the cheese is all melted. Carefully take it out of here. All right, so this is nice and hot and bubbly right out of the oven. This really needs to set for 5 to 10 minutes because it is pretty soupy and it is so hot, it just needs to sit. Plus, we're waiting on the Spanish rice, which I'm gonna show you in the next episode too, but we're cooking it tonight. So we're gonna let this set for 10 minutes and you can just like get your table set and the rest of the things ready and then we'll come right back to this. So it's been about 10 minutes. We've let this cool. We've got our Spanish rice ready. I've got the rest of my dinner table set and whatnot. So we are gonna very carefully scoop one of these out. And you can kind of see the tortillas in there. The first one is always the hardest. Let's see if I can do this. Well, I think we're gonna go that way. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got an enchilada out. I like to add a little more salsa and sour cream to the top. And then we've got this nice Spanish rice, which is in the next episode, so make sure you stay tuned. Serve it up with some Spanish rice, throw fruit, or you can even do refried beans with this, and you've got a fabulous, pretty quick dinner. So I hope you've enjoyed this recipe of chicken enchiladas. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your notifications on by hitting the bell. The recipe will be in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoy this tonight with your family. Have a great night.
Okay, we're ready. 47 seconds worth of, we're ready.
Oh my gosh. Should we just go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so these chicken enchiladas are...
Start over. Don't say all right.
All right. We'll cut.
And how much butter was that put in? Did you mention it?
Yeah, 2 tablespoons. Watch a pot, it never boils.
I know, this is painful to wait for it.
Oh, hey, there it goes.
Gonna taste good, I know.